Now, how long did you associate for in multiple situations? How long did that total from school to the point of opening your own practice?
So I graduated from Parker in December of 2005, and I opened up. I moved to California immediately following, stayed out there for 3 years, and I opened up my first practice in Austin in, what was that, 2008. So November of 2008. And there's a story in itself behind all of that was going on at that time with the Great Recession. I knew I did not want to raise my child in LA. I also didn't have the family support that I needed. And I had my former business as a massage therapist was based in Austin. And so I had roots here. And most of my family is, is in Texas. And it was just a no-brainer for me to come back here and be able to not only be a mompreneur, but also be able to provide a base of, educational family environment for my child that, we were struggling, my husband and I at the time were struggling to do while we were in LA. And so it just all, ended up working out really well. And so we moved in time. I actually scheduled my move around a particular school that I wanted her to attend. And so we moved back to Austin in August of 2008. And by November, I opened the doors to my practice.
A lot of people want to know out there what, how can I say this? It's a loaded term, the term associate. A lot of chiropractors, as you probably remember when you were in school, they say, "Oh, never associate." So some chiropractors say, "Always associate." It's just you got to do what's right for you at the time. And I like how you made that work to your advantage. That's really great.
Oh yeah, and I was one of those that thought I would never associate either until, the way that things end up rolling. Like I was like, okay, well, I can associate or I could hire somebody and making that investment. But I remember Dr. Mancini, the former president of Parker, and it was shortly before graduation. I want to say maybe try 7 or so. And I was walking through because we used to have a hall right next to student affairs where it would have professional opportunities. So you could see what associateships were available. You could see who was selling their practice or, even equipment. And one day he saw me, and I'd always just read just to see, what was going on, what was out there. And he said, "You know what the best opportunities are?" And I said, "What's that, Dr. Fab?" And he said, "The ones that you create for yourself."
Mm.
And then he also said, "Practice where you want to be. Make sure you practice where you want to be because everything else will fall in place." And I know a few docs that had started practices in cities that they weren't in love with and they weren't successful. So those were, 2 really important points that he made that I don't think I would have, really thought as deeply about had it not been for that interaction with him.